Hi, welcome to math. So today we're going to be learning about multiplying fractions. So just a few vocabulary reminders that when you see the word product in anything, it means the answer to a multiplication equation or problem. So if we say, what is the product of 1/2 and 3/4? I'm asking you to multiply it. All right, the identity property of multiplication is that the product of any number and the number 1 equals or identifies itself. It names the number. So 8 times 1 equals 8. It's telling you what the number is. We've done that before, but I just wanted to have that in for a reminder because we're multiplying fractions now. So let's think about relating addition to multiplication. We've done this before. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So if we were to add up 4 times, we would get 16. Now, multiplication, as I've told you, speeds things up a little bit. I know that I have 4 4s that I need to add. So instead, I can say 4 times 4 and get 16. So that's just relating how addition and multiplication can relate to each other, and it makes it a lot faster when you're trying to get to the answer on something. All right, so we're going to apply that to fractions. So what we have here is called a unit fraction. A unit fraction identifies, so here in this case it's 1/4. So that's my unit fraction. It's telling me what fraction I'm going to use. So if I'm adding 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, I'm going to get 4/4, which equals 1/2. All right, so if that's my addition, how can I change that to multiplication to make it faster? Well, how many do I have? I have 4, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to add or multiply 4 times 1/4. Make it quicker, right? So what you're going to do here is this is a whole number. So you're going to put the 4 over 1 because that's going to represent the whole number. Whatever number this is, if it's 3, 2, 6, 10, 1,000, you would put it over 1. And then you're going to multiply that by 1/4. Now, I know when we did addition and subtraction, we did not change the denominator. We didn't change the denominator, right? We changed the numerator, but not the denominator is what I want to say. So in this case, that is not the case. In this case, we're going to change both the numerator and the denominator by multiplying that. So 4 times 1 with the numerator is 4. 1 times 4, the denominators, is 4. That's the same answer, and it still equals 1/2. Okay, so this is different, guys. Addition and subtraction, you do not change the numerator because you're not changing the pieces. But in multiplication, I'm sorry, I keep saying that wrong. You're not changing the denominator in addition and subtraction. Okay, you're only changing the numerator. Okay, the denominator stays the same. In multiplication, you're changing both. All right? Let me say that one more time for myself and for you. In addition and subtraction, okay, you change the numerator, but not the denominator, because you're not changing how many pieces it was cut into. In multiplication, you're changing both. So you're doing something to the numerator and the denominator. All right, so I have a word problem. This is kind of like a brainstorm. Kind of like your hot question or like that first question we used to do in Ready Math. So your question here is, how can you solve this? So Cecilia, hi Cece, has a bag of mozzarella cheese to make 4 pizzas. Each pizza needs 2/3 cups of cheese. How much cheese will she need to make all 4 pizzas? Okay, so let's look at some of the important numbers. All right, so she's gonna make 4 pizzas. Each pizza needs 2/3 cups of cheese. So I want to know how much cheese, this is what I'm looking for, how much cheese will she need to make the 4 pizzas? All right, the first way that we can do it is to draw a picture. We always kind of draw the picture first, right? So I'm going to illustrate or draw a picture. So I have 4 pizzas, so I'm going to represent each pizza, okay, or each 4 pizzas, right? And I'm going to split them in thirds, just thinking about the toppings, right? I'm thinking about how many toppings. Okay, so let's say 2/3 of the pizza is the cheese, right? And then the last third of the pizza will be spread out, but the last third would be like your topping, pepperoni, sausage, whatever you want. So I have each pizza gonna have 2/3 cheese. We're gonna spread it out across the pizza, of course. And then the last third is gonna be something like your toppings, pepperoni. So now I can just count these up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8, okay, thirds. That's it, 8 thirds. So we have to change that. Now I noticed on the math quiz on Friday, I did go back and give partial credit because some of you, even after the review, were forgetting that 8 thirds, or we usually see it like this, right? That is not a proper fraction. That's an improper fraction, or we sometimes call it a fraction greater than 1. So you have to change that to a mixed number because you can get wholes out of that. So if you want to think of it that way, how many of the wholes can you get, okay? Or you can just divide 3 into 8. Now, I know my multiplication facts. Remember, multiplication is the opposite of division. 3 goes into 8, how many times without going over? Twice. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so I'm going to minus 6 from the 8, and that gives me 2 and 2/3. So she's going to need 2 2/3 cups of mozzarella cheese for her pizza. All right, the second way is something we saw earlier, where we could just add it. 2/3 is for each pizza, and plus 2/3, plus 2/3, plus 2/3. All right, now remember, when you're adding, you don't change the denominator, so the 3 is going to stay the same, but you add the numerators. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 thirds. Isn't that the same as this one? But again, we have to convert that, so that would actually equal 2 and 2/3. I don't have to go through the whole thing because I basically already did it up here, right? All right, so that's repeated addition, but this whole thing has been about multiplication. So again, let's think about how we can shorten it and do it faster with multiplication. So we know we have 4 pizzas, right? And we know that there's 2/3, so we're going to multiply 4 pizzas times 2/3 cup. So what we did on that first page prior to this, right, was that I showed you 4 is a whole number, so it would go over 1, right? And then we would multiply it by 2/3. Again, now we're in multiplication. So here we didn't change the denominator because it's addition. Here it's multiplication, so we are. So 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. And again, we got 8 and 8/3, just like here. So 2 and 2/3 again. So remember our thing that we said at the very beginning of the day, beginning of the year, about going to Chick-fil-A? Math is like going to Chick-fil-A. When you get there, you're going to get chicken in some way, shape, or form, right? So you still got the chicken, right? 2 and 2/3, that represents chicken, but you went a different road to get there. So there's 3 different ways. So Cecilia needs 2 and 2/3 cups of cheese to make 4 pizzas for her sisters. All right, so the last thing, just to go over with you one more thing. Khan Academy is your homework or your practice work for today. You're going to watch one video today, multiplying fractions visually, which is going to give you some of the things we've done here, okay, with looking at how to do it visually with shapes, okay, illustrations. And then there's a question set, multiplying fractions visually. So make sure you're watching that video as well as this video. It just reinforces what I'm telling you, and it's a short video. And then there's only 4 questions. If you don't do well on the questions, please go back and do them again. Okay, don't just submit a 0 or a 25. It's a participation grade, but I'm looking to see, did you take the time to go back? Because if you don't, then you end up not doing so well on the quiz on Friday. So if you don't do well, go back, okay? If you have any questions, go to your channel and send me a note. I have a whiteboard. I can go over it with you personally and call you if you're really stuck. All right, good luck. See you later.